Hi, I'm Randy Robison. This is Life Today TV. I'm here with Megan Boudreaux. You may not know her, but I think you're going to want to. She's got a new book called Miracle on Voodoo Mountain. You're going to hear some stories I think that'll pique your interest. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Thanks for coming back to the United States to do these interviews.
It's good to be back.
Now, you're in Haiti.
Yes.
And I've been all around the world. I've been on lots of missions trips, not for the extended period of time that you are, because we kind of hit and we get in and we get out and get the video and get out. I have no desire to go to Haiti, because that is one of the roughest places on earth. Why would you, young girl of all things,
I know.
A little dangerous it could be. Why would you go?
Before I moved there, I had no desire to go to Haiti at all, period, as well. But it's a very rough place, and there's a lot of darkness there. But God called me there, and as I started going, He started revealing that He had a lot of spreading of His light to do there, and wanted to use myself and our ministry to do that.
So what year did you go full time?
2011.
2011. All right. And what does it look like on a day-to-day basis?
Oh goodness, every day is different, but we run a school with about 500 kids and a medical clinic that seeks to serve the community, but also serve our staff of over 100 and our students as well. And so day to day, all sorts of things. We are constantly having people coming and asking us to pray for them. We're hearing about personal issues, home issues, kids wanting to enroll in school. And we work a lot with children who don't have parents or who are in situations of restavek, which is domestic servitude. There's about 500,000 child slaves in Haiti. And so our main focus is just education and empowering these children.
You seeing any good results?
Yeah, we are. It's been amazing to see what God has done. And it's tough because everybody says, oh, well, then why don't you just take these kids out of the restavek situation and just go bring them back into their families, or put them in an orphanage or something like that. And for us, it's tough because with our 500 kids, about 70% of them are restaveks. And if we did that, then we'd have to, have an orphanage of 300 kids, which would be terrible. That would be huge. But then also, you'd have these families that would just go and get more restaveks. And so the approach that God has been really firm and told us over and over He wants us to take is to take the time to educate these caregivers and to show them how to really love these kids. And sometimes it's really hard, but one of the great stories is I was walking my child to school one day, my own daughter, and I saw this little girl that was being beaten, and walked in, and I said, you can't do this to her. She needs to go to school. She needs to go to school. And finally, the caregiver said, okay, she can go to school.
Let me ask you a question, because you said indentured servanthood, and then now you're saying caregiver.
Yes.
So is the caregiver the one who has bought a child into servanthood, or?
Yeah, it's domestic servitude, it's slavery, really, is what it is. And so, yes, the child is still a child, so they have to have somebody to take care of them.
Okay, so it's...
And it's not the way that, a parent would or a family would. They get the leftovers and they do all of the laundry and the cooking and the cleaning, and it's not a relationship that's very warm or inviting or anything.
So forgive me, I know this is going to sound harsh.
No, it's okay.
Are you teaching slave owners to be nicer slave owners?
No, we're teaching the slave owners to realize that these children are children and they're not their slaves.
Okay, good.
That's a very big difference. Yeah,
Yes.
No, and that's a great question, because a lot of people don't understand why we would want to keep these children in the families that they're in, and the problem is that it's just a corrupted form of a foster family, really.
And nowhere to go.
Yeah, and it's also just it's a culturally accepted norm in the country of Haiti that people have restaveks.
So you're not so much trying to keep a system that's less than perfect, but you're trying to make it better and meet them where they're at.
Absolutely, and more so even change the system of restavek.
Okay.
Changing it from saying it's okay to have a child at your house that does all the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry, doesn't go to school, and you beat them, to, no, this child deserves a right to have an education. Let's bring them to school, and then from there, you start realizing, oh, this child has value. You know, and the story that
So
I was
that's what
going
you
to
did.
say,
Yeah.
is that what we saw is that this lady realized, oh, this child should go to school. This child deserves to have, you know, a childhood. And suddenly, the child now calls this lady mom, and the mom doesn't beat her anymore. This it's not a slave relationship anymore. It's really a mother-child relationship. And so, you know, God has the power to transform lives, and He has the power to transform hearts, and we see that, you know, and it's tough, but it does happen.
Wow, that's great. You mentioned you have a daughter.
I do.
How many kids do you have?
I have 4 children.
Of
my
your
husband
own?
and I. Yes, we've adopted 4.
Oh, well, they're all adopted.
Yeah, they're all
Haitians?
adopted. Yes, all Haitians. 2 sets of siblings.
See, that would be the hard part for a lot of women. Oh, I mean, the first kid you meet who needs a parent, you'll be like, oh, well, I need to adopt this child. 'Cause a lot of women would have 30.
Right,
you know,
right. Oh, yeah. Anybody who would want 15 kids could do that, you know. But it's tough because it's definitely was not my intention at all. Whenever I got to Haiti, I had no intention of adopting. Period. And the little girl the first little girl I met in Haiti, she had a bunch of rocks in her hand. She was throwing rocks at a bird and said she was hungry. She was going to eat the bird. And it turned out that she was a restivec. And for the next 6 months, I just cared for her from a distance. She was still living with her owner, so to speak. And I had put her in school and was trying to help out. And then one day she just showed up one evening at 10 p.m. and said, they don't want me anymore. You can have me.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, okay,
Wow.
what do I do? What does that mean? And so without hesitation, I mean, it was pouring raining and she was standing in the rain. So I pulled her in and I said, of course, I want you, like, come in. And, you know, it really wasn't like I made a choice and said, oh, I choose that one. It was like the Lord totally like dropped this child off at my doorstep and said, you
Wow.
are her mother and this is your daughter. So.
Wow. How's your husband with all that?
Well, I've been married since I moved to Haiti. So I was in Haiti. We actually met there. I had been in Haiti for almost 2 years, and he was on just a short-term trip, not even visiting my city, somewhere else. I know. And then suddenly I noticed he was coming back kind of often, and I was like, oh, do you really like Haiti this much? And so, you know, he started pursuing me while I was in Haiti.
Wow.
And a few times I was like, you do know at the time I had 2 children. I said, you do know I have 2 kids, and I live in Haiti. And the Lord just really put it on his heart to pursue myself and my 2 little girls as well. And so we got married 2 years ago. So we've been married for 2 years. And he moved to Haiti.
Well, that is a committed man. I got to tell you, what a great story. I bet we could just keep going because there's probably just tons of great stories. Yeah. But we'll make people get the book, right?
Yes, yes.
Miracle on Voodoo Mountain. It's available now. Go get it. And be sure and check out Life Today when Megan's on. You can watch that program at lifetoday.org. And if people want to follow you and keep up with you online, how can they do that?
They can visit our website, respirehaiti.org.
Very cool. So we'll leave it up there for a minute so you can write that down.
Perfect.
But check it out. Do check it out. And you know what? When people buy your book, they're supporting your ministry?
Yes.
And people can go to your website and just flat out support your ministry?
Yes, absolutely.
What a great idea. Check it out, and do check her out when she's on Live Today. Thank you for coming back and sitting down with us for a few minutes.
Thank you so much.